Greetings, I'm Barron Trump, the greatest son in the collective body, and I'm working on the profile right now. I'm going to deliver a partial, okay? I'm John Edgar Hoover, I'm Tiffany Ariana Trump, and I'm Aaron William Stripling, and I'm a entertainer, and I'm working on a partial profile. Take a look at this. I just want to cause a stain. Okay, so that's a stain. All right, so stand back up. So I want to work on something right now. What I'm working on is, and I want to direct your attention, go to https://www.pornhub.com. Go to Keezy.com. Go to KeezyMovies.com. Go to XNXX.com. Go to XVideos.com. Go to XHamsters.com. Go to those are the .coms, but you'll see branches from these .coms like Brazzers.coms, Libertines.coms. Those were the websites to kill Barron Trump. But they're not killing Barron Trump. These terrorists are going to pay. They're going to pay dead or alive, and they're going to go to justice. That's the snake that we spotted, and they're going to be brought to the justice system. And so what they wanted to do is they wanted to isolate Barron Trump, and they wanted to provide these scent, and they wanted to provide these smells so that they can get a ransom, so that they can get paid, so that they can kill Barron. And that's what their whole little plan was, to sacrifice the greatest son for their delusion of getting away with commercial slavery. But we exposed them. How they started, I'm going to take a look at this. Just really take a look at this. They started with a sock. This is how they started. They rolled up this sock like this. Hold on. They rolled up the sock like this, and they called it a fifi. They call it a fifi, F-E-F-E. They called it a fifi. And what they wanted to do is they wanted the penis to go inside of the fifi as if a penis goes into a vagina. That's what they wanted. So they started, that was the trajectory line. They started in Mike Livingston's 5-story home. First story, commercial real estate. Second story, agricultural real estate. Third story, residential real estate. Fourth story, closed circuit television network real estate. Fifth story, racketeer influence, corp organized crime act departments real estate. So they started in his 5-story home, and he demanded the fee on the victim Aaron Stripling in the 5-story home in order to not be raped. He was trying to rape Aaron Stripling in order to create an account to kill Aaron Stripling and Barron Trump and Tiffany Trump and John Edgar Hoover. So that was his little trajectory line. And then after he introduced the fifi, he came with another thing. Let me take off my tie. I named this. This is the Hoover knot. Let me take off my Hoover knot real quick. You know, we was here for a very long time, 1901, 1908. In the 1930s, you seen this, we was in all of the best suits. Imagine this tie as a towel. His next trajectory was the towel. And he would fold the towel up, and then he would use the towel in a strike. And it was called a rat tail. A rat tail, R-A-T, tail. Tail like an ass, or like a donkey, ignorance, or tail like a buttocks, gluteus maximus. So he established a rat tail, and then inside of the hostage takeover location, he snapped the victim Aaron Stripling, Barron Trump, Tiffany Trump, John Edgar Hoover, many times with it in his next trajectory line. And then he came in with porn magazines, Playboy, Jugs, 50 plus, 40 plus, random magazines. He even came with random trisexual magazines. Now this is attached to an account where he established a clean gene and a gene clink, and I'll tell you what that is. That's something that I created, a philosophy, but it best explains how energy is transferred and how common occurrences is recognized, because I didn't know how to say this. But he established an account of no snitching, absolutely no telling, and then so he can get away with his crime. And then he attached it to the United States military. He took the victim to Vision Quest, which is a U.S. Army military boot camp. And what he did was he had one of the sergeants there spit on his sweater several times. And then he had some of the feed managers like Heather and a couple of other feed managers try to rape Aaron Stripling. And when he refused to have sex with him, with her, they said that he had to either masturbate or have sex. And then the victimology report would indicate that he created a butt hound account and a butt crack account. And so the account was created by you only able to see people, the ransomers coming and going from a very small window space, and you have to hold your eye to see just enough. But you can't see a vagina print. You can only see a gluteus maximus print. And so you can only see the ransomers when they come in and going inside of the 5-story home that Mike Livingston, that pedophile, established. And so after he did that, he raped Aaron Stripling, Barron Trump, Tiffany Trump, John Edgar Hoover several times in the process of setting up his account for Jennifer, BB. And then he set up the account for the United States military. His whole little scam was to get away with the tabernacle that was given to Aaron of Goshen by God through Moses and through Joseph, and to get away with commercial slavery by using his Contra Costa County Martinez Sheriff Office business license from Martinez City Hall and his Contra Costa County Martinez Sheriff Department license from the Secretary of State in both Martinez, California and Sacramento, California. That's what he did. And so years later, after you establish this, you got a masturbator, you're gonna get raped by lads and ladies accounts. He threatened to rape the greatest son with lads, which would defile the holy opportunity to be a high priest. And so the victim is masturbating all the way from the 90s to 2021. Now, in 2011, the victim has never, ever used porn sites to masturbate. Never. Always from his mind, and never looking at no ladies in public inappropriately at their test, never looking at no titties, regardless of the jugs, and never looking at no pussy prints, and never looking at no ass, because he was always had to pay ransoms. He always was escorted from Mike Livingston's hostage takeover locations to Mike Livingston's dumping site locations, where the accounts that was created in the hostage takeover locations was accessed and forced in the dumping sites. And when the victim, Aaron Stripling, Tiffany Trump, Barron Trump, and John Edgar Hoover didn't pay, they covered it up in closed circuit television network, movies and TV shows that they were illegally casting Barron Trump in across the world to get away with their U.S. military scam. So what happened was, that was it. The victim was tied up with rope for a very long time. Now, they wanted to kill Aaron Stripling, Barron Trump, John Edgar Hoover, Tiffany Trump. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to create a TV show and do it live on clear captions. They wanted to say that Aaron Stripling, Barron Trump, Tiffany Trump, John Edgar Hoover was Michael Joseph Jackson. And they were going to use Michael Joseph Jackson in the Holy Bible because Aaron is Barron and Barron is Aaron of the Holy Bible against him by using Michael Joseph Jackson, as Joseph was actually taken from Canaan, from Israel to Egypt as a slave, and then overcame slavery as a discerner by way of obedience to God the entire time in order to be second in charge. And so from there, we go into this this account where these individuals are trying to get away with their scam. So what they tried to do was they took they created a masturbate on yourself account. So when sperm comes out of the penis, it produces a smell. That smell comes from the sperm count and the trying to reach the fallopian tube in order to create a baby in the ovaries of a lady. So when that sits on you, that saturated smell when that sits on you, that saturated smell, it sits there. So let's say that sits there for 3 days. Then it produces a smell. They wanted to isolate the victim in a dumping site location so that they can murder the victim. They wanted to murder Barron Trump. They wanted to murder Tiffany Trump. They wanted to murder John Edgar Hoover so that they can murder Aaron Striplin, so they can get away with the tabernacle provided to Aaron of the Holy Bible, holy allocations. And that's exactly what they did. So they raped in order to create this Gen account, and then they tried to send Aaron to Vision Quest to create a military account. Their whole scam was Arctic training, military training to go to the most difficult countries to maintain: Russia, Germany, Jamaica, Japan. And then finally they settled on Japan as a location to kill Aaron Striplin, Barron Trump, John Edgar Hoover, Tiffany Trump. And then no longer was it training to go to these locations. It was now Aaron Striplin, John Edgar Hoover, Barron Trump, and Tiffany Trump was from these locations and not born and raised in the United States all this time by way of Goshen, Egypt, by way of Canaan, by way of the Garden of Eden, by way of the mountains that Noah washed up on, by way of God, by way of the Tower of Babel. So now that they've got that going on, the 4-story home was the 4-story of the 5-story home building was to stipulate that the victim was now playing the TV show of Michael Joseph Jackson, but had a different TV show. The different TV show was Michael Joseph Say You Jackson. So KY Jelly was introduced through KJ, one of the feed managers, and KY is a butt lubricant so that individuals can have butt sex, right? So they wanted that, and then one of the individuals that went hard was one of the ransomers named Stephanie Regular, from the legal department of the RICO Act, reported to the FBI. So they changed the name of Michael Jackson through their network association, their TV, radio, books, movies, magazines, and newspapers, where their RICO Act department streamed or illustrated that inside of the hostage takeover locations to get to that ransom. Then they took Aaron Striplin to Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, Florida, and murdered him. And then they tried to get away with murdering Barron Trump when Aaron Striplin was working 2016 and 2020 at the John Edgar Hoover building. And then get back to the BB Jennifer scam, and then get back to the U.S. military so that all the evidence and exhibits will be destroyed. Stay tuned. This is going to get interesting. Barron Trump does not smell. Tiffany John Edgar Hoover or Aaron Strickland do not smell. Okay, that's where it comes from. Trajectory line. Thank you. Have a good day.